Previously on DEVS.
1,
1,
2,
3,
5,
8,
13,
21,
34,
I was
55,
completely in love with you.
89,
1, 2,
I thought you were in love
2,
with
3,
me.
3, 7,
You landed an amazing new job at
9, 8,
Maya.
7,
1, 5,
I
9,
couldn't be
2,
happier.
5, 8,
Really moving forward. And then the job
6, 7,
starts.
6, 5.
And I realized you're not just moving forward with the job. You're moving forwards for me.
Episode 2 begins much the same as Episode 1, with another 1 to 2 minute mood piece. Once again, we get a series of disconnected images that do nothing to further the plot.
Afterwards, we see Forrest and Lily sitting outside at Amaya, and Forrest launches into a monologue about his daughter passing away and how he felt about it.
The moment my daughter was taken from me, it was as if I was instantly placed into two concurrent states. In one, I had a full understanding that Amaya was gone. There was no doubt, no hope, no holding on to anything, no going back, just the certainty of her death. In the other, I had no comprehension of her death. It was an impossible thing, an implausible thing, absurd, vast, meaningless, untrue.
Okay, it should be obvious that these things are contradictory, right? Which makes sense. It's perfectly understandable and perhaps normal to feel contradictory emotions when a tragedy like that happens.
But Forrest wants it to be more special than that.
It wasn't just that they were contradictory states, they were absolute states. Each was complete in itself, leaving no room for the other.
No, dude, they're just contradictory. That's what contradictory means.
But I held them both, and still do.
It's clear that Alex Garland is trying to equate feeling conflicting things simultaneously to quantum superposition, the idea that a particle can be in two places simultaneously, but feeling two different things at the same time isn't exactly the mind-bending paradox that quantum superposition is. It's really not all that rare, aberrant, or special of a phenomenon. It happens to people all the time. So equating something like that with quantum superposition is kind of a thin or weak metaphor to me, but maybe it works for you.
Then Forrest tells Lily there's nothing he can say to her.
There was nothing anyone could say to me. There's nothing I can say to you.
Well, the truth might help. You could admit you had him killed. That's something you could do. That might make her feel better. But at least he tells her that she can take paid leave as long as she wants, I guess.
You can talk to me at any time. You can call me at any time. You have no professional obligations that you need to fulfill. Your job and your income are secure, and it'll stay that way for as long as you need it to.
Thank you. Can I go? Can I go home?
Yeah, of course.
So Lily decides to go home for the day. And so does Forrest, apparently. Now, it's not clear exactly how much time has passed. I mean, maybe he worked a full day and this is him going home after a long day of work. But because of how it's edited, it kind of makes it seem like he just wanted to take the rest of the day off too.
I'd work all night if it meant nothing got done.
So Lily calls her mom on the phone. To have a very subdued conversation about how her boyfriend set himself on fire where she works a couple of hours ago.
Yes, obviously. It's awful. Of course I have friends. I have friends, and they're taking care of me. In fact, I'm with them right now.
Afterwards, she takes another shot at the Sudoku app password and gets it wrong again.
Fuck!
Apparently, she doesn't have any interest in using her own tech skills to try and crack the device, and now there is only one fails remaining.
So later that evening, she decides to walk over to Jamie's apartment, climb up the side of the building onto his fire escape, knock on his window, and demand to be let in. You know, like any normal person would.
I guess she just knows where he lives now and knows exactly how to climb onto his fire escape like she's done it before.
Also, why couldn't you just knock on the front door? As we'll see in a minute, he's a total simp, so he'll probably just let you in. Also,
What the fuck?
Let me in. Now, Jamie. You need to not talk for a moment and just listen to me.
what a cunt to demand your ex-boyfriend let you in like that after knocking on his balcony window like a fucking lunatic.
Anyway, he lets her in and agrees to her demand to shut up and listen.
On this phone, there is a Sudoku game. Except, I think it's not a Sudoku game, and it's password protected. It's the one thing I have that might be able to give me an explanation about what happened. And I have one try left to break it, or it wipes.
Jamie discovers that the app is a messaging app communicating with a server in Kazakhstan, and that the origin of some of the code is from the Russian government.
It's not a Sudoku game. It's a messaging app. And it's Russian. And it's state, in origin anyway.
How do you know?
Because it's talking to a server in Kazakhstan, and I recognize sections of the code. There are a few different versions out there, but this one is pretty old. But old is good. Shitload easier for me to open up. This is, I don't know, 3 or 4 years out of date, which is weird because Sergey was a top-level coder, but I guess it's like heart surgeons who smoke or something.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand either, Lily. Why on earth did Sergey and his handlers not update their secret spy messaging app for 3 to 4 years? Why would they back up their espionage data to the goddamn cloud, but not update the app itself to make it more secure as technology progresses? This doesn't make any sense to me at all as a layman, and it seems like it's only here to explain why it's so easy to break into the app. Which baffles me because I don't know why, for the sake of your TV show drama and stakes, you would deliberately make things easier and stupider, but more on that in a moment.
He didn't update, or his handlers didn't update, and you've always got to update.
His handlers?
Lily, unable or unwilling to connect the dots, needs Jamie to spell it out for her that Sergey was likely a Russian spy.
Lily, come on, if this is Russian state, your guy was like
Like what?
a spy or something.
Whoa.
So I know this happened last episode, but it just hit me that Sergey decided to steal the DEVS code on his first day working on the DEVS project. Clearly, spying of this kind is a long con, right? I mean, it took him at least a few years just to get where he is now. Wouldn't it be a lot less suspicious if he waited, I don't know, a week after joining DEVS before he pulled the trigger on the endgame of his plan? Like, they're very suspicious of you, dude. Play it cool. Just wait like a little bit. Earn their trust. Then steal the code. God, Sergey, he's such an awful spy. Jesus. Anyway, Lily then asks Jamie if he can open the app. Now, I want you to watch the scene carefully because it's a masterclass in how to build tension and stakes in your story.
Can you open it?
I think so. But there is a risk. If it's more modern than I think, there might be some embedded security that I can't see, which I might trigger and then lose everything.
Notice how he sets up the possibility that it might not work. Maybe it's more modern than he thought. This is her only link to what really happened to Sergey, and there's a chance it could all be lost if this doesn't work. Ooh, tension, stakes.
Do it.
Are you sure?
Yes. Just do it.
Now watch this.
Okay, it worked. We're in.
Oh, sorry, did I say this scene was good? I meant to say that this scene is a masterclass in how not to build tension and stakes in your story. Sorry, I got that confused. I mean, how easy was that? It worked flawlessly, there were no unforeseen consequences, and the whole thing took less than 10 seconds. It's like Alex Garland wanted to deliberately drain moments like this of tension by making everything as easy as possible. How does Lily find out Sergei was a spy? Well, he just happened to back up his secret spy data to the cloud so she could download it onto her phone. He just happened to not update the app to make it more secure for 3 to 4 years. Her ex-boyfriend just happens to know how to do all of this, and it just happens to be as easy and inconsequential as clicking a button. Great.
Lily insists she must read it alone, and so she leaves.
Meanwhile, Kenton, the security guard, pays a visit to Forrest's humble suburban home.
Coroner's report will take a while.
Hey, can you, not throw cigarettes in my yard, please? Isn't this Northern California? Isn't that going to light the entire state on fire?
The police are convinced that the kid was a suicide. They've got a body. They've got documentary evidence of the act. This is over.
Okay, stop right fucking there. Are you telling me that an employee committing suicide on their campus, by lighting himself on fire, no less, is an open and shut case? This is all just gonna go away now, is it?
Wouldn't this be some kind of huge scandal for the company? Imagine if some Google employee did this. Wouldn't that raise all sorts of questions from the police and the press if anyone got a hold of the story, which they absolutely would, about what led one of their employees to kill themselves in such an insane and dramatic fashion?
I guess not, because according to Kenton, the only loose end is Lily.
Except for the girl. It's not over for her.
Emotionally, you mean?
Yeah.
But Forrest isn't worried. He claims she'll just get over it and move on.
Yes. But that will pass. It just takes time.
Then, Kenton rather casually points out that Forrest still drives the same car and lives in the same house, even though he has a metric fuck-ton of money now. He hasn't changed a single thing about his home life since his daughter died.
I was gonna say you got more money than God, and you live in dust. Aspic.
And Forrest seems offended by this.
So I should buy a bigger house.
Well, I'm not saying that, but baby steps. You buy a new car. That thing's a piece of shit.
It certainly seems like he is, but Forrest insists that he is not holding on to the past. He's actually letting go of it.
I understand what you're saying, Kenton. But I am not holding on to the past. I'm actually letting go of it.
Kenton, realizing it's impossible to have a normal conversation with this guy, says, all right, I'm gonna head out.
Another creepy shot of that fucking statue, and we're back at DEVS. We get a rather cringy argument between a boomer and a zoomer about which generation is worse.
Apparently, boomers are ignorant because they refer to inanimate objects with gendered language. And Generation Z kids are ignorant because they don't specifically listen to Bach and John Coltrane.
Come on, baby.
Don't do that.
What do you do?
Called it baby.
Oh, well, he can't help it. He's the era that doesn't know.
Say what?
You're the era that doesn't know. The one that says stupid shit and gets stuff wrong.
You're the fucking era that doesn't know. Your era doesn't know shit. Also fucking political. Also woke. But you don't know shit about history, you don't know shit about art, you don't know shit about music. So you don't know shit about politics. So you aren't woke. You're comatose.
I don't know shit about music. Please.
Listen to a lot of Bach, a lot of Coltrane.
No.
Then shut the fuck up.
Cool.
Thanks, Alex Garland, for this biting social commentary. Anyway, they're watching a screen with a bunch of static, trying to get the DEVS program to work, until finally...
Hey. It's happening.
Yeah, babe.
They get a rather fuzzy image of what appears to be Christ on the cross. We're going to put a big old pin in this scene and come back to it once the full scope of the DEVS technology is revealed.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice,
Lily is reading the messages on Sergei's secret Sudoku app.
Apparently, Russian spies and their handlers don't communicate in Russian, they communicate in English for some reason.
How convenient is that? Wow.
Anyway, yeah, so Sergei's a Russian spy. Confirmed. So I guess it does make sense for the story that Sergei had to have a Russian accent, right? Or does it?
In real life, a spy, a good one at least, shouldn't sound like he just got off the boat from the motherland.
I'm Jack Barsky. I'm a retired and reformed ex-undercover KGB agent. I'm going to talk a little bit about where I was successful and where I was not.
I guess it's possible that a Russian spy who is also a Russian national with a strong Russian accent would make no attempt to hide his accent or his nationality.
You have no trace of Cuban accent.
Yeah, it's called tradecraft, genius. I blend.
But wouldn't it be a lot more compelling if, I don't know, he lied about his nationality and didn't have an accent? Wouldn't it make the show more interesting if he was actually a decent spy? If this came as a surprise at all? It'd be more of a shock to Lily to learn that he was from Moscow and not, I don't know, New York or something. And it would be more of a shock to find a secret app with Russian messages on it instead of English. If nothing else, the show would be far better off if the American actor playing Sergei just spoke with a generic American accent instead of whatever the hell this is.
This changes everything. If it's true, it literally changes every single thing.
Anyway, Lily decides to attempt to communicate with his handler through the app, and the handler immediately correctly guesses who she is and agrees to meet her the next day. Whereupon the app begins hastily deleting everything.
So Lily goes to meet this mysterious Russian man at a secluded location early in the morning, and as far as we know, she does so without telling anyone she trusts where she was going, or even bringing backup.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Anton here is surprisingly forthcoming and answers all of Lily's questions directly.
Sergei worked for you.
Since he was an undergraduate in Moscow.
And you work for Russian intelligence.
Yes.
Anton is incredibly forthcoming about all this without ever making sure that she's not wearing a wire. I guess he's a terrible spy too. I mean, obviously we don't want the trope of, ha, I was recording you this whole time and now I got you on tape, because that trope is kind of old hat and predictable. But Lily doesn't even think about potentially recording this conversation, and Anton doesn't even think about the possibility that she might want to record it, which both seem really stupid to me.
You are frightened and confused. But at least where I am concerned, you should fear nothing. I have no interest in hurting you.
But Lily doesn't know if he can be trusted.
I don't believe you. At all. Even your name. And his.
Oof, that acting. Can we get an instant replay on that?
I don't believe you. At all. Even your name. And his.
That's terrible.
Why does she say everything in such a detached and disinterested way?
It never seems like she believes or feels the things she's saying, and as a result, neither do I.
Anton, knowing that she likely feels like she didn't know Sergei at all, attempts to convince Lily that, no, you did. Just because he had this secret doesn't mean that their relationship wasn't for real.
He loved you, and you loved him. You knew him.
The point here is that I didn't know him.
Don't be ridiculous. Of course you knew him. Maybe not every single thing, every secret, but you knew him.
Lily remains unconvinced.
I want you to consider something. I want you to consider that Sergei had a good reason for doing what he did. It might be a good reason for you too.
What does that mean?
Oh my God, Lily. Obviously he wants you to work for them. Why would he be talking to you about all this otherwise?
Why are we standing here now? Because you hacked Sergei's phone and contacted me. Do you think anyone would do that? I don't.
Actually, Anton, her ex-boyfriend Jamie is the one who hacked Sergei's phone.
You're very resourceful, very brave.
I mean, I suppose it was brave, if not stupid, to reach out and agree to meet in private with some mysterious Russian agent, so I guess we'll give her points for that.
So Anton then tells Lily that he's 100% convinced Sergei did not commit suicide. He must have been murdered.
I'm not gonna work for you. I just want to understand why Sergei killed himself.
Okay. Then understand this. In my profession, when a colleague commits suicide, the first thing I say to myself is, they did not commit suicide.
I saw CCTV footage. He covered himself in fuel, then lit it.
Lily, who on earth commits suicide by lighting themselves on fire? Sorry, I'm still not over this. This should raise so many more questions about why he did that, if he did. But even Lily's treating it like, I saw him light himself on fire and burn to death. I guess he was just depressed.
Anyway, Anton says that she should work with him to find out what really happened to Sergei, and that if she does decide to work with him...
Sergei's phone is wiped. If you want to contact me again, put a sign in your bedroom window, the chair you have there, where you put clothes. Don't feel invaded. Nobody has a private life anymore.
Don't feel invaded. I am and have been watching your apartment, but don't feel like your privacy is invaded. You see, some tech companies collect your personal data, and even though human eyes might not ever see it, that's basically the same as me looking through your windows. Oh, also, apparently Kenton has been there the entire time.
Good thing for him that they didn't even see him, even though he's not hiding himself very well.
But if she can't hear him say this,
it's just fucking great,
then he definitely couldn't hear what they were saying, because they were speaking at the same volume.
Don't feel invaded. Nobody has a private life anymore.
So I guess all he knows is that she met with a guy at a park.
It's just fucking great.
Back at DEVS, Stuart is trying to convince Forrest, Katie, and Kid Who Doesn't Have a Name Yet that they should be more excited about having seen Christ on the cross.
The fact is that our variances are now so small that we can make a 2,000-year backward projection.
No one's missing the point.
Yeah, Stuart is.
Jesus. Again, we made a 2,000-year projection.
But apparently the fuzziness of the image means it wasn't good enough.
It was a fucking miracle.
No, Stuart. You want to talk about the point? That's the point. It's not a miracle. And it needs to be. The irony is that despite our quantum computing, our problem is binary. It either succeeds totally or it doesn't. Anything outside total is not total.
Well, then the problem is not binary. It's reality. If you want total accuracy, zero variance, then a heuristic approach is never going to work. You're literally going to need a computer the size of the universe. 1 qubit per particle. Good fucking luck with that.
That may actually be true.
No, it isn't true.
Why?
Because I know we're going to do better.
Forrest then asks for some alone time so he can watch a projection of his daughter Amaya from when she was still alive.
Okay, so if you haven't pieced it together by now, the DEVS project involves visual projections of past events.
With their advanced quantum computing, they are able to somehow process a near infinite amount of data in order to project backwards in time, anywhere from 2,000 years ago to just a few seconds ago, at any physical location, and see, albeit not clearly yet, an image of what it looked like.
Basically, they've invented a television into the past.
I don't know about you, but I have a few questions. First, how? How the fuck is this possible? How do you collect all the data that you need for that?
Good fucking luck with that.
I don't believe you have the technology to collect all the necessary data of the current moment in this universe to make the past projectioning possible, because essentially, you'd need to know every possible thing about every possible atom in the world at this exact moment in time.
The show never addresses how all this data is collected. But setting that aside, and that's just scratching the surface of the how, next is the why. Why are they doing this? It seems at the moment, and this will only become more clear as the show progresses, that the main reason for the existence of this project is just so Forrest can see his daughter.
Seriously. That's the whole reason DEVS was started, and that's the primary thing that Forrest wants out of it. Basically, he wants to use this technology to watch super advanced home movies of her so that she can live on, I guess.
Remember back in episode 1 when he said that all these other uses of quantum computing were a waste of resources?
Maybe national security.
I don't give two fucks about national security.
Biotech?
A misuse of resources.
Cold fusion.
Alchemy.
Yeah, apparently all that is a waste of resources, but watching home movies of his daughter isn't.
I'm not holding on to the past. I'm actually letting go of it.
Anyway, there are more revelations to be revealed about this technology and questions to be asked about it, so let's move on for now.
Next, we see Jamie waiting outside the front door of Lily's apartment building like some kind of psychopath when he could have just climbed on her balcony and knocked on the window like a normal person. And then we get comic relief homeless man.
Hey man, you guys smoke? You waiting for someone? Is it Lily? Is it?
Yes.
You're wasting your time, man. She's already got a guy. Brewski.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't blame you for trying, though, man. She is cute.
I'm not trying, man.
Well, I guess I'm gonna stretch my legs, though, you know, like an evening constitution. Like,
Sure.
You gotta stay fit, man. You gotta stay healthy.
Eventually, he wanders away and Lily rounds the corner.
They go inside and talk, and we're treated to some more grade A acting.
Was it that you wanted to know what was on the messaging app?
Oh, no, I don't. Really, that's something between you and him? Obviously, I hope it was what you wanted to see.
It wasn't.
Okay.
So what was it you wanted to talk about?
Jamie realized Lily would probably use the messaging app and came to try and talk her out of it.
It's just... I know you. You do stuff.
I'm doing stuff, Lori. Thanks.
She might actually use the app to contact whoever's on the other end. Like I said, I know you.
Yeah. You know me.
So I wanted to talk you out of it. I don't think that would be a good idea.
She doesn't mention she already did that, but admits it wouldn't be a good idea to hypothetically do that.
I agree. It wouldn't be a good idea.
Then Jamie leaves, but not before offering to help her should she need it.
Back outside, the homeless guy says,
Oh, man. You look glum, brother. You struck out, huh?
and Jamie, even though he could have just walked away, decides to pay the homeless man to never speak to him again.
Look, if I give you $10, will you never speak to me again?
Okay.
Just have a 20 here.
Oh, man. Thank you, brother. This is like the best deal. Oops. I already broke the terms of our arrangement, man. Exactly that kind of unprofessionalism led me to a life on the streets.
As it turns out, Kenton is now tailing Anton and follows him into a parking garage. Kenton approaches Anton, tells him he knows what he's playing at, and asks him to let it go.
I know that you tried to get your boy to pull off some industrial espionage. It was a long game, but it didn't work. I shut it down. And now you're gonna try again on the short game with the girl. But it's not gonna work with her either. I'll shut her down too. You know I will. And she's just a kid, just a bright kid. Wrong place, wrong time. Wrong boyfriend. And innocent. You remember what they are, right?
I remember.
So how about it? I'm saying one professional to another. Can you let this go?
It doesn't work, and Anton tries to stab Kenton, at which point we're treated to one of the most bizarre editing decisions I've seen in quite a while. Instead of the ensuing fight scene playing out normally with or without score, the fight scene plays out in slow motion for some reason, accompanied by the same song that opened the episode, which completely drains the moment of tension and replaces what could be an otherwise tense fight scene with one of the worst music videos of all time.
It's super poorly choreographed. It's clumsy, but not in a way that feels natural. Like, I really don't know if this would work better in regular motion. It's just goofy. And it keeps going until it ends like this. I'm sorry. What? You mean to tell me that while lying on his back, this middle-aged man had enough leverage to push this other guy's neck against the tire of a parked car for like 2 seconds of real time with one leg until it snaps? Are you fucking kidding me? There is no way that happens. There's absolutely no way this happens like that.
Meanwhile, Lily decides not to enlist the now deceased Anton's help, and instead decides to send him a message that I wish I could send to Alex Garland. And that's episode 2. We hope you guys are enjoying this review series so far. Personally, I cannot wait to show you episodes 3 and 4. Man, if you thought the DEVS project was dumb now, whoo boy, just wait until the full scale and scope of its stupidity is fully revealed. Lots of fun stuff to come as we deconstruct this fascinating mess of a show together. Hugh and I have very much enjoyed your contributions down in the comments, as many of you have pointed out problems, inconsistencies, and outright nonsense that we didn't even catch ourselves. So keep them coming, because we intend to compile them and incorporate them into a future video. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for episode 3. Bye!